Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, get ready, because today we're jumping into some source material that connects, well, high-level math and farming.
Yeah, it sounds a bit unexpected, doesn't it? We're looking at sources about using calculus differentiation, integration to potentially spot illness in livestock.
Specifically, and this is key from the sources, livestock on organic feed, and it involves analyzing their heartbeat data.
That's the core of it. The materials you sent over explore this really interesting link.
Right, so our mission today, unpack this idea. How do these, let's face it, pretty abstract math tools actually get used for something real world as animal health?
Well, what's really fascinating and what the sources point out is that calculus lets us see patterns in biological signals like heartbeats that you just wouldn't notice otherwise.
Uh-huh. Because a heartbeat isn't just a simple beep beep, right? It's complex.
Exactly, it's a dynamic signal full of subtle variations.
Okay, so the sources mention differentiation and integration. Let's start with differentiation. We usually learn that as instantaneous rate of change. How does that map onto a heartbeat?
Precisely. Think about an EKG waveform. It goes up, it comes down. Differentiation lets us analyze how fast it's changing at any point.
Like the speed of the signal?
Sort of, yeah.
Hmm?
The velocity or even acceleration of the signal.
Hmm.
Not just how high a peak is, but how quickly it got there. Or how fast the rhythm is speeding up or slowing down between beats.
And the sources suggest that looking at that rate of change is the key for spotting illness in these particular animals.
Yes, that's what the material highlights.
Mm.
Even if the basic rhythm seems okay, changes in the dynamics, how quickly things are shifting, might be the first sign something's wrong.
Like an early warning system.
Kind of.
Mm.
The sources might describe, for example, looking for really specific, maybe sudden changes in how fast the signal's amplitude or frequency is changing.
And correlating that with health issues.
Right, particularly health issues seen in livestock in this organic feed context, because that might influence their baseline physiology or what stresses them.
Okay, that makes sense. The math is like a magnifying glass for those tiny shifts.
A good way to put it.
So what about integration? The source mentions that too. How does that fit in?
Well, if differentiation is about the right now rate of change, integration is about accumulation, the total effect over time.
Accumulation. How?
So the sources suggest a few ways. Maybe integrating the power spectrum of the heart rate variability signal.
Okay. What would that tell you?
It could quantify the total sort of energy related to certain bodily processes over a specific frequency range.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe integrating the signal across one whole heartbeat cycle.
To get what?
Maybe something related to the total work the heart did in that single beat. You get different insights from these cumulative measures.
Ah, I see. So differentiation for the instantaneous changes, integration for the overall picture, or the sum total over a period.
You've got it. And the source material seems to use both, suggesting that combining these perspectives gives a fuller picture for detecting illness, especially in this specific setting.
And the emphasis on organic agricultural feed in the sources, that's relevant because,
Well, the thinking presented is that diet impacts gut health, metabolism, stress, potentially creating a different baseline physiology or different signal characteristics compared to conventionally fed animals.
so the analysis needs to account for that difference.
Exactly. It needs to be tailored.
So based on the source material, it's not just applying Calc 101, it's about fine-tuning these calculus tools to the specific biological signals of these animals in this environment.
Right. The sources essentially outline a method to translate these subtle, mathematically quantified changes in heartbeat dynamics into, well, hopefully actionable health information.
It really shows how these fundamental math concepts we learn can become incredibly practical tools.
Definitely. When you apply them thoughtfully to complex data, like biological signals, and tailor them, like in this organic farming context described.
Okay, let's sum this up then. This deep dive into the source material has shown a pretty amazing application.
Using calculus differentiation for rates of change, integration for cumulative effects to analyze heartbeat signals.
And potentially detecting illness early in livestock, with a specific focus in these sources on animals raised with organic agricultural feed.
Yeah, it's a solid reminder that math isn't just theory. It gives us real frameworks to understand complex systems, physics, biology.
Even animal health on a farm. It's quite the example.
It really is.
And maybe a final thought for you, our listener. What other complex systems are around you? In your work, maybe just in life?
Yeah, systems generating signals, data, patterns over time.
Could they hold hidden insights? Could
Yeah.
looking at them through a mathematical lens, maybe even using calculus like we discussed today, reveal something important?
What unseen dynamics might be waiting there, just needing the right tools to be uncovered? Something to think about.